Andrew is trying to get people to watch his new podcast. He's meeting with Vicky Princeton, a professional presenter, who has been put forward by Andrew's agent Joanne as a potential co-host to make the podcast less rubbish. Andrew doesn't think he wants a co-host.
Okay, so you've been sent by Joanne.
Yeah.
You watched the first podcast, right? Pretty amazing. Yeah, exciting. What about that meteor coming in? Screaming, yeah? Pretty special. Did you enjoy it? Is that important? Yeah, go on. Is it? Did you?
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot happened.
Yep.
It
was an hour and 40 minutes of happenings.
It was an hour and 40 minutes.
Of happenings.
Of...
It happened all the way through, start to finish. I mean, there was no point where there was like a dip. It was pretty much,
No, there wasn't.
pretty
That's
much
true.
excitement from the start. I don't think you could live that way. I think if you tried to live that way, just being excited all the time, your heart would burst probably by your early 30s.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. I think that hour and 40 minutes was probably enough of what I'd want to see of that.
Yeah, more would just
I think
be
more would be too much.
Too thrilling.
Too thrilling. I don't think I could take it.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Yeah, good. That's the point. I mean, well, I think probably... Okay, so first one, so I can live with good.
You can, yeah.
But I think we want to, build up the superlatives. That's one of the things that's very important to me. Great, amazing,
Yes.
Splendid. That's not used as often as it should be.
Splendid, no.
Oh, that was splendid. Okay. Joanne, she's a funny one. Quite a combative woman. Right, yeah, she's kind of fun. I keep her around. She said, this girl, Vicky, she's like up and coming. She could be, if she married well, she could be the next Holly Willoughby. And I said, that's interesting. Yeah. So have you got any like the boyfriend in TV? Surely, I mean, otherwise, what are you doing?
I've dated a few actor types,
Yeah.
a few producers.
Better.
I'm trying. I spend a bit of time at Soho House. Try and network a little bit, get my foot in the door that way.
Yeah.
But
they're all a bit awful down there.
They're not great
aren't
to
they?
date.
No.
So it's, do I want to commit to that for the jobs?
Yeah.
Or actually...
But a relationship with an ordinary person is...
An ordinary person being someone not in
someone
the
who doesn't
arts.
go to Soho House. I mean, you've been to Soho House, they are not ordinary.
They're not ordinary.
If there's one thing you can say about the people that go to Soho House, not ordinary, would be the first thing that you would say. There are other things you could say.
A whole list.
There's a list. Are they rude things? But you can say rude things about everyone in the world, even people who work on like rubbish tips in Peru. You could say, oh, that is a terrible situation, but personal hygiene, is not there. You can be rude about anyone.
Within reason, I think. Yeah.
So Joanne reckons you'll be good for the podcast because she's got a bee in her bonnet. I've shown her the second one. It's out already if you're watching this. She was complaining, she is a complainer, a bit too blokey. Now that's simplistic because the second one has 3 people in it and they were all men. I think what she did is she saw that and then didn't pay attention to the rest of it.
Right.
If you're only looking at that part of it, yes, it's blokey because everyone in it is a bloke. I can't help that. I could have helped it beforehand, I can't help it now. You are going to, supposedly, according to her, bring in some feminine mystique That's not what she said, that I'm using that.
Okay.
If you are to bring that feminine mystique, what is that mystique that I'm missing, and why do I want it?
I think it's just a different opinion, isn't it? I think these days to have 3 blokes talking about anything, it's only really going to be quite one-sided.
Yeah.
And I think to have that different perspective that I'm going to bring in, as Joanne's rightly said, I think it's just going to add another depth to it. And it's, you know, it might be controversial, might cause some debate, but I think it's going to be good debate.
What do you think about, because it is the End of the World podcast, what are your feelings about the imminent end of the world? Are you a believer that it's all ending?
I want to. I'm going to have to say no.
Right.
I'm going to have to say no. I'm going to have to bring in my controversial opinion on that one and say, I think there are things that we need to improve on quite quickly to avoid that happening in the future.
Yeah. I thought we meant about the podcast.
No.
Yeah.
The end of the world.
No, well, you know what? I mean, I actually quite like that answer because I tend to agree. Really, the point of the podcast is to just kind of get clicks from slightly simple people who are scared, because scared people are very good at getting clicks from. And as long as, they're not really feeling kind of suicidal, their attention is as good as anyone else's.
So you'd say that was your target audience, people that are scared for the world ending?
For the
imminently.
podcast, yeah, definitely. The topics that we cover, climate change, you've got to talk about that, but you can't call it change anymore. The latest one was boiling, climate boiling. Did you hear about that? That was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we might touch on that. They came up with that one, climate boiling.
And boiling though? I mean, we've had quite a cold summer.
Exactly, they're not in England, these people that come up with this stuff.
They should come and live in London for a bit.
They should come and live in London for a bit,
Then
but
they
then, in the next
climate
breath,
raining.
in the next breath, you'd be like, well, we don't want them to come. You can't win with people.
No.
You can't win with people. Don't come here, but if you do come here, you'll realise that there can't possibly be climate boiling.
No, because
it was hot last year, kind of, 40-degree day, I remember.
Yes.
And I thought, if they'd have said to me then, climate boiling, I'd have gone, maybe. I got a cab ride with a guy from Somalia that day, and he said to me, London is hotter than Somalia. And I said, what, today? You mean today? And he goes, no, it's hotter than Somalia all the time in the summer, because Somalia, you get a nice breeze off the sea. I was like, well, there you go. Maybe it's happening. But if you are to come to me today, August 2023, after a crap summer, I would say no climate boiling.
No,
if anything, I could make the argument, it's getting colder. What should we do? What shall we burn to heat it up?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I would have to agree.
So we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
Joanne, again, I mean, she's so rude. I do like her. She's fun in a sort of angry way. She seems to think that my presentation isn't up to snuff. Now, I'm not a presenter, so that would be fair. It would be like saying, your sprinting's no good when you're someone who just jogs a bit. You go, well, I'm not really trying to. So she wants you to co-present with me. What does that mean, though? I mean, does it mean I don't talk as much?
No, I don't think so. I don't want to take away from, what you're doing.
No.
I think it's just giving it a bit more structure. I can maybe interject when we go off on a tangent. Is that the right word to use?
Do we go off on tangents?
Did that happen slightly, maybe in episode 1? I think.
I think it's usually very relevant stuff. I mean,
Okay, well, maybe that's where we see where it goes, we see what happens, and then maybe me interjecting at some point, you then will realise oh, we have gone off. We can bring it back a bit.
If you are acting as the gatekeeper
Yes.
to the doom that we want, because I think if I have a weakness, and I'm not sure that I do, but if I have one, then I'm not doom-laden enough. And if these tangents exist, they're probably just because I'm quite happy-go-lucky, and I'll just kind of trip off into, hey, don't worry though, because nice things. At that point, you can pull me back into the darkness. Then we're staying on message, because we've got to scare these people.
We've got to, if that's the target audience.
Yeah. The more scared they are, the more they'll have to watch to learn the different ways that they might die in the future. People are addicted to that information.
Yeah.
It's all about views, and not just views, it's about keeping them there. So we say, start of the show, oh, this could kill you. And they go, oh, but don't go anywhere, because later on we're going to talk about this other thing that's going to kill you. But don't skip forward, because before we get to that, we'll talk about the second thing that will kill you, because the thing I referred to earlier was the third thing. Vicky, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I think you're going to be an addition.
I hope so.
And if you do a bad job, it's going to be...
I don't think I will, but...
No, you don't think
I don't think I will.
You don't think you will.
Joanne has faith in me. I
Joanne,
have faith in myself.
Joanne will pay.
Joanne will pay.
So
Be on her.
you're
Be it on
okay.
her head.
I can't blame you, because you are what you are. Joanne is the person who made the recommendation.
Yeah.
And people who recommend things that don't work out need sorting out.
We can agree on that.
Brutally. Okay, so that was great. That was Vicky. There'll be a message now telling you to do all the things that I want you to do. If you've got this far, you should do them. If you've already done them, then you are the greatest person that has ever watched your computer screen, which I think is a high compliment. See you another time.
I gotta be honest, I have no idea what to make of that. Some things in life just aren't worth thinking too hard about. But you must have enjoyed it, or you wouldn't have got this far. The only fair way to settle things would be to like the stupid video and subscribe to the channel. At least then you can win the argument with yourself that you haven't completely wasted your time here.